In today's video we will discuss the top 10 muscle cars of all time. You don't want to miss this. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel to stay updated with new videos, releasing Monday through Friday each week. Number 10. 2015 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. The muscle car revival that began in the early 90s has seen lots of big-hitting V8 models back in showrooms, but nothing has yet compared to the Dodge Challenger Hellcat introduced in 2015. If we thought the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 was over the top with 580 bhp, or the Ford Mustang GT500 was outrageous with 650 bhp, then the 707 bhp pumped out by the 6.2-liter Hemi V8 engine Dodge Challenger Hellcat is simply shocking. That means it's packing more power than many supercars, and with the optional paddle-shifted 8-speed auto gearbox, the Hellcat races to 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds. In true muscle car style it's cheap too, at least compared to those supercar rivals, with the sticker price starting at just over $64,000. Don't think the above sounds extreme enough? Neither did Dodge, as it made a limited-run Challenger Demon, which produces a colossal 829 horsepower. To make the most of the power, Dodge supplied Demons with huge drag racing-inspired tires and two keys, one for everyday use, that actually limits an engine's power, and one for maximum speed. Number 9. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The Plymouth Barracuda was introduced a couple of weeks before the Ford Mustang in 1964, but while the Mustang rival also featured sporty styling and affordable prices, it spent most of its life in the more popular Ford's shadow. A part that is, from the legendary Hemi-powered Cuda model, which is one of the most desirable muscle car models from the classic era. Introduced in 1970, the Hemi Cuda featured a 426 cubic inch, 7.0-liter, V8 making 425 horsepower, and was good for 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. It looked the part too, with a range of cartoonish colors and a shaker hood scoop, poking through the bonnet to help force air into the engine. The model was withdrawn in 1971 after just 115 examples had been sold, because Plymouth didn't want to strangle its legendary Hemi V8 to meet new emissions regulations. Nowadays the Hemi Cuda is highly collectible, of course, with the rarest convertible versions selling for millions of dollars. Number 8. 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. Another extreme rarity inspired by the need to win at the track, the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt was a stripped-out drag racer that mated the lightweight, relatively, and compact Ford Fairlane body with the meaty 427 cubic inch, 7.0-liter, V8 race engine developed for the bigger, heavier Ford Galaxy NASCAR racers. The Galaxy was too heavy to be competitive on drag strip acceleration runs, but the Thunderbolt solved that problem for Ford by winning the National Hot Rod Association Super Stock Championship in 1964. According to Ford's official documentation, the Thunderbolt was rated at 425 horsepower in its standard race-prepared spec. Unofficial estimates put that figure closer to 600 bhp, and performance was further improved by lightening the car with plastic windows and glass fiber doors, bonnet and wings. The best bit? The Thunderbolt was technically street legal, although Ford riveted a disclaimer to the inside of the glove box stating the model's fit and finish was not up to normal road car standards. Just 100 examples were built in 1964. Number 7. 1968 Chevrolet Corvette L88. Conceived as a bona fide homegrown sports car to rival European imports, the two-seat Chevrolet Corvette may not fit the muscle car tag for many U.S. enthusiasts. But to the rest of the world, the car's big block V8 engine options and affordable price tag made it a prime example of the breed. The Mako Shark-inspired Corvette C3 Stingray arrived in 1968 at the peak of the muscle car era, and included an L88 big block engine option designed primarily for racing. The 427 cubic inch, 7.0-liter, V8 had an advertised horsepower of 430 bhp, but many believe production models actually escaped from the factory with upwards of 550 bhp. Other L88 upgrades included a heavy-duty 4-speed manual gearbox, uprated brakes and suspension, and deletion of the air con, heater and radio options. In racing trim, the L88 Corvette would hit 171 miles per hour at Le Mans, and although GM had to offer it for sale to the public to meet racing rules, it was never actively promoted as a road car. That's why fewer than 200 examples were ever sold. Number 6. 1965 Shelby Mustang GT350. The Ford Mustang pony car took the US by storm in 1964, selling 2 million cars in its first 2 years of production. In spite of its sporty two-door styling, most of its underpinnings came from more mundane Ford saloon cars, and the most popular engines were asthmatic straight sixes. A 289 cubic inch, 4.7-liter V8 was soon introduced with up to 271 bhp, but it's the Shelby GT350 versions of those early cars that really get collectors fired up. Painted in trademark Wimbledon white with blue stripes along the sill panels, the cars were uprated by legendary Le Mans 24 Hours winning driver and AC Cobra originator Carroll Shelby. As well as a power hike to 306 bhp, the Mustang GT350 featured a side-exiting exhaust system, uprated brakes and suspension, and had a spare wheel mounted where the rear seat should go, making it eligible for sports car racing. Just 562 cars of the earliest Shelby Mustang were built in 1965, and the Shelby GT350 models that followed in 1966 to 68 were more luxuriously equipped and less race-focused. Somewhat notoriously, car rental firm Hertz offered the GT350H on its fleet of hire cars. These special models came in black with gold stripes, and stories of weekend rentals coming back with spot welds where roll cages had been installed. Along with hearing all the stories of renters spending the weekend in muscle car heaven. Number 5. 1949 Oldsmobile Rocket 88. The Oldsmobile 88 hit showrooms in 1949, and might have been fairly unremarkable had Oldsmobile's engineers not fitted it with a powerful V8 engine originally destined for its bigger saloon cars. That's the reason many muscle car fans deem the Rocket 88 to be the first of the muscle car breed, although in spite of its high-tech for the time high-compression V8, the performance was hardly earth-shattering by later muscle car standards. The 303 cu-inch, 5.0-liter, Rocket V8 produced around 140 bhp, but that was enough in 1949 to make the relatively compact and lightweight 88 a force to be reckoned with on the NASCAR race circuit. It won 6 out of 9 races in its first year of competition, and is a worthy addition to any muscle car Hall of Fame. Number 4. 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. The Chevrolet Camaro was produced in answer to the runaway success of the Ford Mustang, which had been launched in 1964. Arriving 3 years later, the Camaro was a sporty coupe and convertible based on the Chevy Nova platform, but with some meaty engine options including a 396 cubic inch V8 making up to 375 bhp. There were racy RS and SS option packs that included a blacked-out grille with concealed headlamps, simulated air intakes and bumblebee striping, but performance purists could opt for the Z28 package, which added serious chassis mods designed for racing versions. The Z28 goodies included disc brakes at the front, a heavy-duty 4-speed manual transmission, upgraded suspension, and racing stripes. It came as standard with a lighter-weight 302 cubic inch, 5.0-liter, small block V8 making 290 bhp, but could also be ordered with a 396 cubic inch, 6.5-liter, big block. Number 3. 1970 Plymouth Road Runner Superbird. While most muscle cars were designed for drag racing, or at least the traffic light Grand Prix, other notable examples owe their existence to circuit racing. The Plymouth Superbird was arguably the most famous, even before it took one of the starring roles in the Pixar smash hit movie Cars. That pointed nose and sky-high rear wing were designed to cut through the air and make the car a front-runner in NASCAR. The Superbird, and its sister car the Dodge Challenger Daytona, was essentially a stock car racer developed from the Plymouth Road Runner and sold to the public because NASCAR's rules in 1970 stated 1,920 examples had to be road registered to allow it to compete. The rule was 2 cars for every dealer in a manufacturer's U.S. sales network. The car's shape was developed in the wind tunnel, but while the tall rear wing looks like it's meant to cut through clean air, its height was actually determined by the necessity to get the boot lid open. There were 3 engine options ranging from a 375 bhp 440 cubic inch, 7.2-liter, V8 to the famous 426 cubic inch, 7.0-liter, Hemi making 425 bhp. Ironically, while the most powerful Superbird would do 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds, its regular Road Runner stablemate was quicker off the line, because the Superbird's steel nose and gigantic rear wing added so much weight. In full race tune though, the aerodynamic additions helped the Hemi Superbird top 200 miles per hour. NASCAR changed the rules in 1971, limiting engine size that effectively neutered the benefits of the Superbird's aerodynamic shape, so Plymouth canceled the Superbird after a year on sale, while the Superbird's divisive shape meant some cars remained unsold for a couple of years. Today it's seen as a hugely desirable model of the muscle car era, and cars frequently sell at auction for six-figure sums. Number 2. 1964 Pontiac GTO. The Pontiac GTO is widely acknowledged as the car that really kicked off the 1960s muscle car era. It was initially offered as an optional package on the midsize Pontiac Tempest, and was the first truly mass-market high-performance model to follow the big displacement engine route, using a tuned 389 cubic inch, 6.4-liter V8 engine in place of the entry-level Tempest's 140 bhp6. The top-spec GTO package included triple carburetors giving 348 bhp, a 4-speed manual gearbox, uprated suspension, wider wheels and bonnet scoops. It cost just $4,500 with all the options, which equates to about $33,000 in today's money. Not bad for a car that would race from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds. Performance for its day, and for the price that was so astonishing that magazines of the period tested the GTO against its namesake, the Ferrari 250 GTO, just to see what it could really do. Number 1. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS454. Chevrolet's first foray into the muscle car world was with the Chevelle Supersport, or SS, introduced in 1964. Early in its life it was significantly outgunned by the Pontiac GTO, but it wasn't long before Chevy started turning up the wick. By 1970, the Chevelle SS had reached its most outrageous specification, with a huge 454 cubic inch, 7.5-liter, big block V8 that could be ordered with an advertised 450 bhp and 500 pounds-ft of torque. With a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of a little over 5 seconds, the 1970 Chevrolet SS454 was one of the fastest accelerating road cars in the world, and is hugely collectible today. I hope you enjoyed our top 10 muscle cars of all time. Please leave a comment below for any car you think we missed or should have been placed on the list. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. New videos drop every Monday through Friday.